Tower of God, a series that has captivated millions of fans with its intriguing plot, insane world building and rich characters. But amid all of this, one question burns brighter than the rest. What is the best story arc in Tower of God? And today I'm not just giving you an answer, I'm giving you a definitive answer. Not with opinions, but with real, undeniable data. To uncover the truth, I built a web scraper that meticulously combed through the entire Tower of God webtoon and Never sites, gathering the number of likes for every single chapter. Armed with this data, I organized it into a spreadsheet, added some key details and divided the chapters into their respective story arcs. To keep things simple and comprehensive, I grouped some of the shorter arcs under their overarching storylines. As Season 3 alone has over 50 arcs, many of which consist of 1 to 3 chapters. With this data in hand, I was able to create some rather insightful graphs. Graphs that not only reveal the most popular story arc, but also track the performance of the show over time. So let's dive into the data. But first a quick note, there's a surprising lack of overlap between what Korean fans and webtoon fans consider the best arc in the series. Because of this, I've decided to split the results in 2 separate videos. In this one, we will be focusing on the preferences of webtoon readers, because let's face it, that's where most of us are reading this masterpiece. And with that out of the way, let's begin with the bottom of the list and work our way up. 17th place. The story arc with the least average likes per chapter is the currently ongoing Sprout arc, averaging around 31,000 likes per chapter. Now, don't be fooled. This isn't necessarily at the bottom of the list due to the quality of the arc itself, but rather because it's the latest one, and not everyone has caught up to it yet. It's a common trend across webtoon series. The most recent chapters generally have fewer likes, as readers are still catching up to the series. As you can see by these graphs, even massively popular series like Lore Olympus and Unordinary follow this trend. Anyway, this trend continues for a while, as the places 16 to 14 all go to the immediate preceding story arcs. Therefore 16th place goes to the Deal arc, which spans chapters 574 to 587 and averages about 44,000 likes per chapter. Again, this arc is relatively recent, so the lower numbers aren't too surprising. 15th place. Now here's where things get a little bit more surprising. The Marriage Tournament arc with an average of 57,000 likes per chapter. I did not predict to end up at this low ranking. This story arc features the return of fan favorite characters like Yuri Jahad and Endorsi, yet it didn't perform as strongly as I expected. Perhaps the pacing or the plot direction didn't resonate as much with the audience, but it's still a pivotal moment in the story. 14th place. A significant jump brings us to the introduction of the Lopobia family head arc, covering chapters 525 to 545. This arc, which features the first appearance of Lopobia Träumerei and delves into the backstory of characters like Yasracha and Wang Wang, pulls in around 76,000 likes per chapter. It's a key arc that starts to unravel some of the larger mysteries of the tower. 13th place. This spot belongs to the Namehunt Station arc, with an average of 79,000 likes per chapter. This arc is where we start to see a major difference in preferences between webtoon and Never audiences. It's an arc filled with strategy, as Balm and his team try to defeat the 1,000-year-long reign of Kaiser over the Namehunt Station. 12th place. One of my personal favorites, the Helltrain arc, lands here with around 80,000 likes per chapter. I was genuinely surprised by this ranking, given the introduction of iconic characters like Joaquin, Daniel, Boro, Akka and Sachi. This arc is a roller coaster of emotions, packed with action, betrayal and revelations. 11th place, and equally surprising, is the Flaw of Death arc, with an average of 82,000 likes per chapter. What caught me off guard here is not only its placement, but also the fact that this arc, despite its impact on the story, only spans about 30 chapters. This is surprising, especially given the depth of its content. For comparison, the Marriage Tournament is just as long as the entire Flaw of Death. I suspect we might return to this location in the future, which could explain why it was a short arc. But still. Anyway, let's dive into the top 10. Kicking off the top 10 is the Workshop Battle arc, with 97,000 likes per chapter. For many fans, including myself, this is the arc where the story really started to click. It's where the pieces from Season 1 and early Season 2 began to come together, setting the stage for the epic battles and intense drama that followed. 9th place. Our first entry from Season 1 is the Last Examination arc, averaging just under 100,000 likes per chapter. This arc is the grand finale of the first season and contains one of the most iconic and infuriating moments in the entire series. A moment that left the entire fandom in a collective state of rage. The opening arc of Season 2 breaks into the list with an average of over 100,000 likes per chapter. I'm particularly happy to see this one ranked so high. The beginning of Season 2 can be confusing with many new characters and unclear motivations, but as the pieces start to fall into place, it all begins to make sense. Just like how it makes sense to subscribe to my channel. Haha. No, but in all seriousness, as you might imagine, this video took a lot of work to produce, not just to gather the data, but also preparing it in a way that I could use it in a video. If you enjoyed the content so far, I would appreciate it if you could subscribe and leave a like. It would help to push the YouTube algorithm in my favor, and I plan on making more videos about Tower of God, a series I believe deserves much more love and attention. And I would love for you to join me on this journey. Alright, enough with the plug, let's get back to the list. 7th place, with an average of 113,000 likes per chapter. The Evankhell's Hell arc claims this spot. Covering chapters 6 to 53, this arc introduces us to the main characters, the concept of rankers and Shinsu, positions and much more. It's a foundational arc that sets the stage for the complex world of Tower of God. 6th place. In a significant leap story-wise, we have the Nest arc from Season 3, with an average of 120,000 likes per chapter. This arc features one of the top 3 most liked chapters in the entire series, with 214,000 likes. It's the final chapter before SIU's long hiatus in 2020, where we see our characters successfully breach the walls of the Nest and be greeted by Yasracha. 5th place. Entering the top 5, we have the Hidden Floor arc, averaging 132,000 likes per chapter. In this story arc, our main cast enters a digital world where they encounter data versions of Khun, Edwan and Jahad from their days climbing the tower. The arc spans roughly 50 chapters, and the beginning of the fight between Data, Jahad and Bam is the second most liked chapter in the entire series, with over 215,000 likes. 4th place. A bit of a surprise here, the Wall of Peaceful Coexistence. Despite consisting of only 15 chapters, what's interesting about this story arc is its consistency in likes. While it doesn't have a single chapter in the top 20 most liked, it still manages to average around 142,000 likes per chapter. More than arcs like The Nest and Hidden Floor, which have multiple chapters in the top 20. Its focused narrative and character-driven plot seems to resonate deeply with the readers. And now the moment we have all been waiting for, the top 3 most liked arcs in Tower of God. And can I just say, this is where it gets really fascinating. The difference between 3rd and 1st place is less than 500 likes, and the top 3 are all from different seasons, showcasing the consistent quality of this story over its 14-year-long run. 3rd place. Taking the bronze with an average of exactly 146,528 likes per chapter is Season 3's The Cage arc. This arc had high expectations to live up to, following the end of Season 2 and introducing us to Yama, the king of the canines and Fuck Slayer. And not only did it meet these expectations, but it arguably surpassed them, featuring the most liked chapter in the entire series with 220,000 likes, the chapter where we see Yama transform against Kel Hellam. 2nd place, just missing the top spot, is Season 2's finale, the Last Station arc, with an average of 146,781 likes. This relatively short arc packs a punch, delivering intense action, high stakes and major plot twists. We finally get to see Evankhell in action, who's been teased since the beginning, and we are introduced to Calavan, a formidable new foe. Rankers are trying to kill Bam and his crew. Jin Sung-ha faces off against Calavan and Khun Marshani Jahad. It's truly one of the best arcs in the entire series. But in the end, it's not the best, because according to Webtoon's data, the most loved arc with an impressive average of 146,935 likes per chapter, is none other than the arc that started it all, Heidens Floor. This really is the reverse of the Sprout arc. It's benefiting from being the entry point for every reader, naturally drawing more likes as everyone begins their journey here. But that's not the full story. These initial chapters are the heart of the series, encapsulating the mystery and intrigue that drew us all in. Just like Balm, we step into the unknown, with no idea what the tower holds or what challenges lie ahead. That sense of wonder and confusion sets the tone for everything that follows, making Heidens Floor a powerful and unforgettable start to an epic tale. So there you have it, the definitive ranking of Tower of God arcs, based on cold, hard data. But before we wrap up, let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. By examining the trajectory of likes over time, we can visualize the heights and lows of the series in this graph. This isn't just a ranking, it's a story of how Tower of God has evolved in popularity over the years. We start at an all-time high with Heidens Floor, as mentioned earlier, and it's no surprise given that this is where everyone's journey begins. After that initial surge, we see a bit of a dip, but overall Season 1 maintains a strong average of around 112,000 likes across its 79 chapters. This consistency sets a solid foundation for what's to come. Season 2 picks up right where Season 1 left off, staying relatively steady in terms of likes, until we hit the Hell Train arc. Here the likes begin to dip again, consistently falling below the 100k mark. But just when you think the series might be losing steam, it roars back to life with the Hidden Floor arc. From there it's a meteoric rise, with the Last Station arc delivering some of the highest numbers of likes up to that point. Season 2 finishes strong with an average of just under 100,000 likes, proving that the series had a lot of momentum left in the tank. And that momentum didn't just fade away, it carried right into Season 3, even surpassing the average of Season 1 and 2 for a while. Tower of God was riding high until we hit a significant roadblock with chapter 485. This was when SIU had to take a year-long hiatus due to health issues. Understandably, the series took a big hit. After the hiatus, the likes began to drop chapter by chapter, and unfortunately they have never really fully recovered. But here's the thing, even with these challenges, Season 3 still manages to average an impressive 92,000 likes. That's no small feat, and speaks volumes about the series' enduring appeal. As I mentioned earlier, the decline in likes for the most recent chapters likely has little to do with their quality, and more with the natural trend of newer chapters receiving fewer likes. It's a pattern we see across the board in webtoons. However, there's another issue that might be playing a much bigger role in this downward trend, one that I haven't touched on yet. And that's Webtoon's rather questionable release schedule since SIU's return from hiatus. The official translated chapters on Webtoon are currently 11 chapters behind the Korean preview chapters and fan translations. This gap leads to fewer people reading on Webtoon, which naturally results in fewer likes. It's a frustrating situation for fans who want to stay up to date, and it undoubtedly impacts the series' overall performance. But perhaps this is a topic for another time. Anyway, this is it. If you have enjoyed this deep dive and want more content like this, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Trust me, we are just getting started on this journey through the tower, and I would love for you to be part of it. I am Dennis, and as always, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again. Bye!